Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good evening, Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao. Together with the Presidential Communications Office, we bring you the latest, widest, and most comprehensive news coverage from the People's Television, IBC, Philippine News Agency, Philippine Information Agency, and Presidential Broadcast Service. I'm Princess Abiba Saripaudak from Radyo Pilipinas. Welcome to Balitang Pambansa.
Tonight's headlines. President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. says he is satisfied with the results thus far of the recently concluded midterm elections. The government eyes to expand the scope of the 20 peso rice program to other areas to allow more Filipinos to benefit from it. The Commission on Elections, or COMELEC, explains that a manual recount request cannot be granted immediately as it requires a law and enough funding before it can actually be done.
On top of the news, the president's 500 batting average for this year's midterm polls still indicate a majority of his Alianza coalition in the Senate's composition in the 20th Congress. And this augurs well for the president in pushing for his legislative agenda in the second half of his term. Our Kenneth Paciente on the president expressing satisfaction on the poll results and optimism in getting the work done moving forward.
President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. is satisfied with the initial results of the 2025 midterm elections. Communications Undersecretary and Palace Press Officer Attorney Claire Castro said this is because the senators elect in his Alianza coalition ticket are believed by the president to have dignity, personal convictions, and a genuine intention to serve the nation. And despite coming from different political parties, the president is hoping the newly elected candidates will work together to address the real needs of the people and not their interests.
So anumang kulay yan, wini-welcome po talaga ng Pangulo na makaisa ang bawat leaders natin para tugunan kung ano man ang problema at magbigyang solusyon ang pangangailangan ng mga kababayan natin.
The palace also said the administration is open to legitimate opposition that advocates for the welfare of the people, but will oppose obstructionists or critics who see nothing good in the government's programs and serve only the interests in their agenda.
Pag sinabi natin lehitimong oppositionist, ang ipinaglalaban nila ay ang bansa, ang interes ng taong bayan, hindi ang personal na interes. Obstructionist, walang gagawin, kundi manira, walang makikitang maganda sa ginagawa ng gobyerno, at ang sariling interes lamang ang gustong palagawin.
With 6 administration bets making it to the Magic 12 in the partial and unofficial tally of the recent elections, the palace remains confident given such proof that many Filipinos continue to trust and believe in the government.
Naniniwala pa rin po ang Pangulo na malaki pa rin po ang suporta ng taong bayan sa administrasyon sa ngayon. Tandaan po natin ang kahuli-hulihan pong survey ay nagpapakita po ng mataas na trust rating po ng Pangulo.
When asked if the palace believes the result of the senatorial race would pave the way for impeachment against VP Sara, the palace responded that the president has never pushed for the vice president's impeachment.
Wala pong anumang balita patungkol sa pagpursu ng Pangulo sa impeachment or sa impeachment trial ni VP Sara. So yan po ay ating tinututulan at pinasisinungalingan po. Wala pong sinasabing anumang pagkumpiyansa na para mapatalsik o matanggal sa pwesto ang Vice Presidente.
Malacanang also denied the claims from the opposition the result of the senatorial race is part of the administration's political vendetta against them.
Tao po ang siyang humusga, tao po ang siyang bumoto. Igalang po natin ang mga napili ng mga kababayan po natin. Wala po itong refleksyon kung ano man po ang sinasabi patungkol sa mga Duterte.
From PTV Manila, Kenneth Paciente, Balitang Pambansa.
With a generally successful democratic exercise in the rear-view mirror, the president hailed the country's teachers and volunteers who put in their entire hearts, minds, and energies into helping administer and manage the voting and counting protocols in Monday's midterm elections. As a token of the government and people's gratitude, the president instructed a higher honoraria for all teachers and their assistants who ran Monday's nationwide polls. In heeding the president's call, the Department of Budget and Management approved the release of an extra 2,000 pesos honorarium for all teachers who put in work on Monday.
Gusto kong maging bahagi ng eleksyon pagkat ito ay aking responsibilidad bilang isang Pilipino at gusto ko ay maging bahagi ng isang tapat na halalan.
Ito ay bilang pagkilala sa kanilang mahalagang papel sa maayos na pagsasagawa ng 2025 national and local elections. Ibig sabihin, magiging 12,000 pesos na ang honoraria para sa mga electoral board chairperson. 11,000 pesos naman para sa poll clerk at third member, habang 8,000 pesos naman para sa mga support staff.
On the other news, as the government steps up efforts to bring relief to consumers and make basic goods more affordable, more Filipinos outside Metro Manila can now breathe a little easier because starting tomorrow, the 20 pesos per kilo rice will be made available in more provinces across the country. A total of 32 Kadiwa centers are set to roll out the budget-friendly rice. PTV's Clazel Pardilia brings us the palace's good news in this report.
Cook Gemma can't wait to buy 20 pesos rice. She's a widow supporting 5 children in Barangay Santa Ana, Rizal. For her, saving isn't just about stretching their budget. It's a step closer to her dream, to send her children to school.
Pag wala kang 20, hindi ka makakabili ng kalahati dahil tag 50 po yung nabibili naming bigas ngayon. Kung matutupad po sa ngayon po yan, baka po siguro malaking tulong po yung 20 pesos na makakabili po kami ng malaking tulong po yun.
At yung matitipid, saan niyo uli gagamitin, ma'am?
Pambaon po ng mga anak ko, pangbili ng gamit, lalo ngayon magpapasukan.
Good news from the administration of President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. Starting tomorrow, 20 pesos rice will be available in more provinces outside Metro Manila. 32 Kadiwa centers will start selling 20 pesos rice in Bulacan, Cavite, Mindoro, and Rizal. This is a part of the government's effort to make basic goods affordable and help consumers reduce daily expenses.
Makikita natin, no, ito hindi lamang pang eleksyon katulad ng sinasabi nila. Ang serbisyo naman po, sino man po ang nakaluklok dyan ay para sa taong bayan.
Meanwhile, 20 pesos rice continues to be offered in markets, Kadiwa outlets, and selected government offices across NCR, including the DA Central Office, Parañaque, Valenzuela, Manila, Malabon, Taguig, Mandaluyong, Pasay, and Navotas, and even in Visayas region.
Masaya ng lahat ng mga tao kasi nabawasan yung mga gastusin, diba? Buwaba na yung bigas.
At 20 pesos per kilo, BBM rice is significantly cheaper than well-milled rice priced at 40 to 50 pesos in local markets.
Dahil bumababa po at nabibigyan po natin ng pagkakataon ng ating mga kababayan na makabili ng 20 pesos na kada kilo na bigas, ang market po nito ay maaari ma-impluwensyahan. We hope na kahit sa market po ay maibaba nila ang presyo ng bigas.
From PTV, Vel Custodio, Balitang Pambansa.
It's dirt cheap and a huge hit with the public everywhere it comes up for sale. No, it's not cheap. Suit bought the grain sold for 20 pesos a kilo care of the government's 20 Bigas Meron na program. Today, it hit a number of stores in the mega city, which our Mary Vel Custodio enumerates, plus other details in this report.
Buyers for the Benteng Bigas Meron na program are delighted in the quality of the National Food Authority rice sold at a cheaper price.
Dati pa po kami pumipila, doon po kay Kampong 29, pumipila po kami. Kasi napakaganda po ng bigas sa 29. Maganda po siya isain.
Maalsa ba?
Maalsa po.
Okay naman yung natupad ni Pangulo yung pangako niya sa mga mahihirap.
Marami pong mga bumibili talaga dito bumibili ng ating benteng bigas. So marami po rin nakausap natin at sila po ay lubos na nagpapasalamat of course sa ating pamahalaan, kay Presidente, dahil nga daw po yung kanyang pangako na benteng bigas ay meron na po silang nabili.
The Department of Agriculture Food Terminal Incorporated initially delivered 20 to 30 sacks of 25% broken NFA rice for the pilot implementation of the 20 pesos rice program. Aside from Visayas, 8 Kadiwa na Pangulo sites will sell the 20 pesos rice in Metro Manila, to include 3 cooperatives in Bulacan and 1 in Oriental Mindoro. And the DA is planning to sell the 20 pesos a kilo of NFA rice in 32 Kadiwa sites this week.
Nung bago po eleksyon, meron po mga naka-order na, sabi nga po sa Cebu, sa Southern Leyte, Siquijor, meron na po silang order nitong ating P20.
The DA assures the public that the expanded sale of 20 pesos NFA rice will not affect the buffer stock supply for calamities. The NFA continues to buy palay or unhusked rice from farmers. The Agriculture Department is looking forward to sell 20 pesos per kilo rice in more than 40 additional locations. The DA is also studying how to implement an application that would serve as a distribution and monitoring system for the rice.
Mas maganda sana kung meron silang talagang kumbaga isang ID na makikita natin o mamonitor natin yung kanilang pagbili ng ating bigas.
The DA is targeting to implement it within the year. From PTV, Vel Custodio, Balitang Pambansa.
Bitterness lingers in the mouth, especially on sore losers on a last-ditch effort to steer the pot, make noise, and hopefully stay relevant. Take disgraced pastor and senator wannabe Apollo Quiboloy, who has sounded the alarm over Comelec discounting his votes, and running mate Rodante Marcoleta also claiming likewise and seeking a recount even though he is won, which the Comelec explained and election watchdog PPCRV seconded. Our Luisa Erispe has more.
Several candidates and party list organizations have been asking for a manual recount for the 2025 midterm elections. This is after the alleged discrepancy on the partial and unofficial tally that happened early morning yesterday that resulted to deducted number of votes for some candidates. One of these candidates who questioned the changes is Rodante Marcoleta, running for senator. He submitted a manifestation to the Comelec to explain on the record what happened on the transmission. For the camp of Apollo Quiboloy, also running for senator, they are calling for a manual recount throughout the country. Even the Kabataan party list asked for a recount, saying they have flagged the system Comelec has contracted for the elections last year, and so a recount is justifiable. And for Solo Parents party list, they want an investigation, an explanation why they have monitored an alleged attempt to transfer and deduct vote count for them.
May recovery attempt at paglipat o transfer ng boto mula sa Solo Parents party list. Mula sa humigit kumulang 214,000 na boto, bigla itong bumaba sa humigit kumulang na 125,000 na boto.
But the Commission on Elections said a manual recount is not that easy to implement. A law is needed and funds should be available to provide honoraria for teachers that will serve as electoral boards.
Sino magre-recount? Ang mga guro. So kailangan natin silang bigyan muli ng honoraria. Kailangan magkaroon tayo na dan po ay kakailanganin ng batas sa isang manual recount ng balota. So yung pong random manual audit, acceptable po yan internationally. Yan pong ginagawa.
Comelec also said the ongoing random manual audit is also enough on the law to serve as a manual recount.
Yung po kasing random manual audit, yung po ang nakalagay sa batas yung po ang manual recount na sinasabi. Baka po siguro ang gusto nila sabihin yung lahat ng buong Pilipinas, buong 94,000 precinct. Ako, pagka po nagkagano yung manual recount, mas mahaba po yun, di hamak. Kapag po nag-manual recount tayo sa buong eleksyon na whatever. So, ang manual recount ay ito pong random manual audit natin.
But the Comelec is also open for an election protest if voters want to open ballot boxes. But still, this has a process.
Pinaka-best talaga, protesta. Pero nakita po nila yung ballot images Yun yung isang bagay na bakit walang nagdi-discuss. Nakita po yung picture image ng balota, yung sa ballot review. So ibig sabihin, naikumpara nila yung boto pag binilang manually yung balota na pinakita sa kanila ng teachers doon sa na-print na election returns at na-transmit na election returns. Dito po So para nang yun na po yung manual recount na sinasabi.
The PPCRV sides with the Comelec and is convinced that there is no election fraud for the 2025 midterm elections. They are also satisfied with the transmitted votes on the transparency server. From PTV Manila, Luisa Erispe, Balitang Pambansa.
Just 2 days after the people cast their votes in the 2025 midterm elections, the first day of the random manual audit is now underway. Selected ballots from chosen precincts are being carefully reviewed and counted by hand as part of the audit process. Manual audit teams have begun their meticulous task. PTV's J.M. Pineda has the report.
2 days after Hatol ng Bayan 2025, the random manual audit of selected ballots from various precincts kicked off this morning. During the audit, manual audit teams counted the votes manually. 60 audit teams participated initially, with each group composed of 3 members. These teams are made up of teachers who also underwent training for vote counting. They are not the same individuals who serve on the electoral boards during the election. Each RMA team counted and evaluated the ballots one by one, based solely on how the automated counting machine or ACM read the ballots. This means the RMA teams did not interpret the voters' intent. They rely strictly on how the machine read each votes. The results from the RMA teams will then be reviewed by verifiers, which includes members from civil society and professional organization such as Election Watchdogs PPCRV.
Ko-compare ng team yung kanilang number na nakuha with the number appearing doon sa election return. Doon magkakaroon ng variances na tinatawag. No? So, mag-investigate sila doon sa variance na yon. Anong gagawin nila? I-check nila siguro yung kanilang recording, no? Baka nagkaroon sila ng error.
Meanwhile, if the manual count and election returns do not match, the Technical Evaluation Committee will step in.
They will exert every effort to determine ano yung cause ng variance kung marireconcile. Pag hindi nila ma-reconcile yan, titingnan ano yung total na variances, no? Abot ba ito ng 10? Lalambas ba ito ng 10? Pagka hanggang 10 lang ang variance for one ballot box, that will be accepted as, sige, okay na to. Gagamitin ito ng PSA to tabulate yung mga results. Pero pag sumobra ng 10 ang variances, marirefer ito sa Technical Evaluation Committee.
The PPCRV clarified that in almost every election, the accuracy or match rate between the manual count and the machine count hovers at 99%. The group also believe this year's election returns and manual counting will align with the help of the improved ACMs used in the election. The Commission on Elections or COMELEC also emphasized the importance of the manual audit.
Ang random manual audit natin, napaka-importante po yon sapagkat ang random manual audit ang magko-confirm kung ang mga makina ay bumilang ng tama sa mga presinto.
It was also clarified that manual counting results cannot be used for electoral protest. The purpose of the process is solely to confirm whether the numbers released by the ACM match. The manual count is expected to last around 45 days to more than a month, although this could vary depending on how quickly the committee completes its number matching process. From PTV Manila, J.M. Pineda, Balitang Pambansa.
On the other news, House Speaker Martin Romualdez and Representative Sandro Marcos were re-elected in Leyte and Ilocos Norte, respectively. Meanwhile, Akbayan Party List leads the party list race with over 2.2 million votes. As the 20th Congress opens in July, focus turns to the possible impeachment trial of Vice President Sara Duterte, with talks of adding Laila de Lima and Shell Jokno to the prosecution team. Meanwhile, the Philippine Tobacco Institute has thrown its weight behind several Senate proposals aimed at cracking down on the illicit tobacco trade in the country, a long-standing issue that has cost the government billions in lost revenue. This and more in tonight's Business Wrap from the Philippine News Agency.
In our business news, the Philippine Tobacco Institute expressed support for several proposals in the Senate that would help curb illicit tobacco trade. The PTI cited the need to pass measures to strengthen law enforcement and taxation measures. This following the increase in illicit tobacco trade to 18.2% by the end of 2024, as well as the increase in the share of illicit cigarettes from 5.4% in 2020 to 18.2% in 2024. It also noted that the annual revenue losses due to illicit trade alone amount to 52 billion pesos, while legal tax-paid tobacco volumes declines from 69 million sticks in 2020 to 43.8 billion last year. PTI President Jericho Nograles said the PTA and its members stand with the government in seeking urgent and sustainable solutions to growing threat of illegal trade and the possible damage to fiscal health, the public welfare, and the rule of law. Meanwhile, the European Union is open to accelerating the negotiations for a free trade agreement with the Philippines. EU Ambassador to the Philippines, Massimo Santoro, said that the 27-member bloc is keen in concluding the FTA amid global trade uncertainties, such as the tariff policy of the United States. The potential to fast-track negotiations comes at a time when the Philippines is seeing greater trade preference under the EU's Generalized Scheme of Preferences Plus. The GSP Plus is a special incentive that initially offered zero tariffs on 66% of products of all EU tariff lines, but now extended to 80%. Currently, the EU has FTAs with Singapore and Vietnam. Aside from the Philippines, the bloc is also in talks with Thailand and Malaysia. And that's the latest business news from the Philippine News Agency. This is Stephanie Sevillano for Balitang Pambansa.
Wheels up soon in Antique as the Department of Transportation is shifting into high gear as it pushes forward with major infrastructure projects, starting with the long-awaited upgrade of Antique Airport. Pilar Mabacquiao from the Philippine Information Agency Antique files the report.
The Department of Transportation reaffirmed its commitment to fast-track the completion of key infrastructure projects in Antique, particularly the much-anticipated opening of the new passenger terminal of Antique Airport. Following the directive of President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. to ensure the government projects are done promptly with efficiency, the OTR Secretary Vivincio Dizon conducted an inspection of Antique Airport recently with Senator Loren Legarda. Dizon emphasized the importance of infrastructure projects like airports and seaports in driving regional development.
We came here upon the instructions of our President to really make sure that all the ongoing projects of the Department of Transportation are implemented faster. No? Kasi nga, all these projects, airports, ports, and other critical infrastructure, they're so important for our people. No? So we're here and we're so thankful to Senator Loren for hosting us and for taking us around and for giving us really the important insights that we need in the national government to really implement these projects faster and better.
He affirmed that the government is committed to expanding the airport's runway from its current 1.5 kilometers to 1.8 kilometers, making it capable of accommodating jet aircraft. With 1.7 billion already invested in the project, Dizon assured that the additional funding has been secured for further development in 2025 and 2026. On her part, Senator Loren Legarda acknowledged the DOTR's efforts in pushing the project forward.
When President Marcos landed here in his private plane and I was on board the flight, he invited me and we were landing, he said, "Uy, Loren, ganda ng airport mo, pinaghirapan mo yan eh." Kasi alam niya, we were still colleagues in the Senate, linalagyan ko ng pondo every year through the DOTR budget and then eventually CAAP. But just to make it clear, for those who don't understand the budgetary process, the implementing agencies is never Congress, never the Senate. It's the DOTR CAAP.
From the Philippine Information Agency Antique, Pilar Mabacquiao for Balitang Pambansa.
From promise to plate, President Ferdinand Marcos Jr.'s 20 peso rice is now a reality in Biliran, bringing real relief to families who need it most. As our Lailani Tupas from Philippine Information Agency Biliran tells us more.
In fulfillment of President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr.'s promise, the sale of rice at 20 pesos per kilo has officially rolled out in the province of Biliran. This initiative aims to ease the burden of rising food costs for Filipino families, particularly in rural communities. For residents like Aling Lorita Comadeso from Naval Biliran, this program is more than just affordable rice. It's a lifeline.
Pasalamat ko sa kanang sa bugas nga among nakuha nakatulamtang gyapon ni sa dito sa Kadiwa sa may Kapitolyo. Dako gihapon iban sa among gastusonon ang pag-20 ang kilo. Salamat ni kang Presidente Marcos nga iyang gikuan gihapon ang iyang tabang sa pamilya akong iban gihapon sa mga damo mga apo.
Another beneficiary, Romeo Quiscano, also expresses gratitude and hopes the initiative continues for the long term.
Nalipay ko na nanay 20 pesos ang bugas, sana maging tuloy-tuloy ito.
The provincial government has already prepared at least 155 bags of high-quality, locally sourced rice for initial distribution to identified low-income families. Meanwhile, localized rollouts are expected to begin soon across all 8 municipalities of Biliran Province, making quality, affordable rice more accessible to those who need it most.
From the Philippine Information Agency Biliran, Mary Lailani Tupas, Balitang Pambansa.
And for our weather update, a frontal system is affecting northern Luzon, while the intertropical convergence zone affecting Mindanao and southern Leyte, easterlies, on the other hand, is affecting the rest of the country. Ilocos Region, Cordillera Administrative Region, Cagayan Valley, Aurora, and Quezon may encounter cloudy skies with scattered rain showers and thunderstorm. Mindanao and southern Leyte may expect cloudy skies with scattered rains and thunderstorms. Meanwhile, Metro Manila and the rest of the country may also expect partly cloudy to cloudy skies with isolated rain showers or thunderstorms caused by the easterlies. And that concludes a rundown of the latest, widest, and most comprehensive news and information from all across the nation. This is your trusted news source, always ready to inform and serve the Filipino people. Catch Balitang Pambansa again tomorrow at 7 a.m., 12 noon, 6 p.m., and 9:30 p.m. for more updates and developments. From Radyo Pilipinas, I'm Princess Habiba Saripaudak, and this is your Balitang Pambansa.